The mayor of the River City says that its riverfront could use an update. Hear how he's working to draw in more tourists.
Plus, it may not be a winning season for the Jackson State Tigers, but this homecoming weekend is sure to be a big win for the surrounding businesses.
And a Pine Belt family reunites with the goats that they were they would never see again. We have an update on how they are doing.
And we are watching storms now rumbling through the Delta. The closest rain to us in Issaquena and in Sharkey counties. These storms are not severe, but there's still a potential for that, as we've got a severe thunderstorm watch box until 10 o'clock for a good part of the Delta. That does include Humphreys County. Now, we are in the warm sector of this frontal system. Most of the rain, or the stronger storms, notice, are close to this frontal boundary. But eventually this front is going to lift up to the north, and our chances of rain will go down as we go through the weekend. It stays warm, though. You'll see the 8-day forecast coming up in 12 minutes.
Well, Vicksburg city leaders take a trip to New Orleans to learn more about how to enhance their riverfront area.
Mayor George Flagg spoke with WJTV's Margaret Ann Carter about how he plans to draw more people to the waterfront.
We want to bring this out.
For the River City, the riverfront should be the #1 attraction. After visiting the architect who designed the New Orleans riverfront, Mayor George Flagg's returned to Vicksburg with a fresh perspective and clear vision.
We was able to go out and see how the city of New Orleans wrapped their city and their culture around their riverfront. And that's exactly what we want to do. We want to enhance this riverfront to give the cultural understanding of Vicksburg.
Flagg says he wants to utilize what the city already has by connecting the downtown retail area to the water.
They was able to take the existing land, infrastructure, and build around it. And that's exactly what we want to do. We don't want to disturb none of this. We want to just enhance it.
Flagg says he doesn't want to commercialize the city's 4 acres along the river like big cities. He just wants to make it more welcoming and appealing for locals and tourists. He hopes to bring in local artists and students to paint murals along the walls depicting Vicksburg history, add benches and picnic tables, build a floating dock, and improve the splash pad for kids.
We are in the process of borrowing another $9.4 million to do capital improvement. And we believe between the budget and general fund and the master plan in which we talking about doing in the future, we'll have the money to do it.
Flagg says the next step is unveiling a master plan by December or January and then get to work.
I have 3.5 more years on my term. I want this done at the end of my term.
Reporting in Vicksburg, Margaret Ann Carter, WJTV 12.
And Flagg says he plans to take a group to visit the riverfront in Little Rock, Arkansas in February. Now, Vicksburg police officers will get a 50-cent raise starting January 1st. This takes the pay from $13.65 an hour to $14.15 an hour. This is all in an effort to recruit and keep good officers. They also are giving education incentives for employees who want to get another degree in the criminal justice field.
The Jackson Fire Department is wishing a speedy recovery to a little girl that they rescued on Halloween. Division Fire Chief Kalitho Sanders says they tweeted this picture tonight. It shows members of the Jackson team visiting the 6-year-old in the hospital. Firefighters found her unconscious in the home Tuesday night. Now, a few days later, she is out of intensive care.
Thousands of Jackson State University alumni are swarming into the city for homecoming weekend.
Oh, the Tigers play Alabama State University tomorrow. And though the team's record is 1-7 right now, restaurant and nightclub owners expect to see the same spike in business as they've seen in past years. Many opened their doors early today to draw the crowd from campus. The owner of Johnny T's Bistro and Blue says he looks forward to this weekend every football season.
Also have a lot of, people got a lot of JSU pride, so it's always a great time of the year. But it's consistent. Homecoming and Capital City Classic are 2 of the biggest nightlife games each year.
Well, Jackson State is also hosting a star-studded rap concert Saturday night. The school is implementing a clear bag policy to help ensure safety.
We have a silver alert for a woman who's been missing since early this morning. 67-year-old Linda Thompson is from Baton Rouge. She was last seen near the Mississippi Gulf Coast. If you recognize her or know where she is, call police.
The town of Terry is looking for a police chief. We're told that the woman holding that position resigned this week. Chief Betty Rusin left the job Wednesday. We went to the mayor's office to find out why. He would not return our phone calls or answer any questions. Instead, he sent us a statement explaining that they are in the process of looking for a new chief and officers. The Hinds County Sheriff's Office will help with patrols until they get more officers in place.
The Jackson Police Department is looking for recruits for a 14-week training class in spring of 2018. The department needs to fill 50 open positions. They're also recruiting already trained officers. Those that have worked within the state would be able to start immediately, and any law enforcement from out of state would only need to take a 3-week refresher course. The starting pay here is just under $26,000 a year. We asked how that compares to other jurisdictions.
Very comparative to the southern region pay scale, and especially here in Jackson and the surrounding area. However, we do understand that as time goes on, people have other obligations in their family and personal life that they feel the need to move on to other jobs in law enforcement.
There is a list of requirements to become a Jackson police officer, and you can find all of that information on our website, WJTV.com.
A 6-month-long drug investigation leads to the arrest of 4 people in South Mississippi on opioid charges. Narcotics agents found the 3 men and 1 woman in a Picayune home. They also seized $2,200 worth of opioids. Coming up at 10 on WJTV, we take a look at the spike of opioid deaths in Mississippi this year.
People in Tupelo can now visit a permanent replica of the Vietnam Veteran War Memorial. The monument was unveiled with veterans in a ceremony.
Unveiled.
Barbara Rushing got the idea for the wall after seeing a traveling replica wall 16 years ago. The state of Mississippi paid $750,000 of the roughly $1 million cost, with the rest paid in about equal parts from private donors and the city of Tupelo. It took 7 months to build, and Rushing says it was worth it.
It had to be done right or not do it at all. I've been to a lot of memorials in several different states, and this is tops.
Now, this memorial is about 60% the size of the one in Washington, D.C., and it bears the 58,000 names of Americans who died or went missing in the Vietnam War.
Well, the newly created Better Together Commission now has 15 official members.
The independent group will oversee improvement at Jackson Public Schools. The governor created the commission to avoid a state takeover. Among the 15 members are Claiborne Barksdale, Bishop Ronnie Crudup Sr., and Leland Speed. The Better Together Commission meets for the first time Wednesday, November 8th at 10 a.m. at the Mississippi Museum of Art, and this meeting is open to the public. You can find more information and the full list of appointees on WJTV.com.
We have been keeping a close eye on the progress of Fondren's sidewalk project, and construction is expected in the next few weeks. Officials held a meeting this morning and determined that work will start within 30 days. The project will reconstruct the sidewalks throughout the Fondren Business District, including Old Canton Road, North State Street, Fondren Place, and Dueling Avenue. Improving the landscaping in the area is also a part of the project.
A new baseball league is debuting this year, and one of the teams will call the Pine Belt home. The National Urban Professional Baseball League will consist of 4 teams in its inaugural season, including one in Laurel. An organizer tells us one of the league's goals is to promote diversity in baseball. Teams will be named after past Negro League players such as Satchel Paige and Josh Gibson. Tryouts will be held at Wooten Legion Field in Laurel on November 18th and 19th, and they will be open to the public. Hear from one of the players already on Laurel's team at 10 on WJTV 12. 2 pygmy goats that were taken from the front yard of their Tylertown home have been found.
That's right. We first told you about this story yesterday. WJTV's Linnea Lewis has more on the reunion.
Their family received a call that they've been waiting for all week. It was that their 2 pygmy goats had been found.
Leia and Moonpie were stolen out of the front yard of their home earlier this week by a man in a black truck. But today the Marion County Sheriff's Department contacted the family to tell them they found their 2 goats.
A message on Facebook about 10 o'clock from the Marion County Sheriff's Detective.
and he said that he thought he may have spotted my goats yesterday on a separate call.
Officials said they were working a case that involved the same man that took the Laird's goats, and that's how they were able to identify Leia and Moonpie. Lacey and Justin said they're glad officials found their goats, but they're more excited their 11-year-old daughter Piper gets her friends back.
She's probably gonna be ecstatic. She'll be really happy to have her goats back.
Yes.
The Laird family also wants to thank the community and officers that helped them find their goats, who are more like family.
Just a thank you to the Marion County Sheriff's detectives and the Walthall County. I don't think we could have asked for.
No, they were awesome. So.
Very professional, helpful, courteous. We're just really thankful.
Linnea Lewis, WJTV 12.
The Walthall County Sheriff's Department has not released the man's name accused of stealing the goats, but plans to issue a warrant for his arrest.
'Tis the season to sparkle, but only one more day. Mistletoe Marketplace is almost over. Tomorrow, your last chance to get in on the fun. This is the 37th annual event. This year, the Junior League of Jackson brought in 155 merchants from around the country. They expect by the end of tomorrow, at least 40,000 shoppers to have gone through the Trade Mart. Doors reopen tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., close around 5 tomorrow night. Tickets to get in are $15 at the door. Seniors and kids get in for $5. There's more than just shopping at Mistletoe Marketplace. To see a full list of festivities, things that'll be happening tomorrow, visit our website, WJTV.com. And now let's send it over to Ken.
All right, looks like we do have some storms rumbling through the Delta for tonight, but after tonight, I think we're just going to see a warm and muggy weekend ahead. Now, a cold front is coming. I'll let you know when that'll happen next week in the forecast coming up next. You're watching WJTV 12 on the CW. Right now we have showers and thunderstorms rolling through mostly just the Delta. We've got this rain near this area of low pressure, this little wave developing along this front. So you see that this is a warm front right here. This is kind of the warm sector of this frontal system where we normally see storms. Now, after tonight, I think these frontal boundaries are going to lift off to the north and to the east, and without them around, without any disturbances rolling through this warm and muggy air that we've got in place across the Gulf Coast, we won't see very good chances of rain for the rest of the weekend after tonight. Now, tonight we still have a marginal risk of severe weather all the way down into the metro for at least the next couple of hours. The main threats will be damaging winds, hail up to about quarter in size, some lightning, and some heavy rain. We're seeing that right now on Live IMAX 12 in the Delta. Take a look at Issaquena and Sharkey counties. Now, the storm is not severe, and we are seeing more in the way of showers and thunderstorms, a little bit up to the north of us, but again, nothing severe at the time. And we think that generally the storms are going to be weakening over the next couple of hours. This severe thunderstorm watch box, this blue shaded area, is set to expire in about 45 minutes at 10 o'clock, and I don't think that another watch will be issued. So here's a look at what we're expecting as we go through the overnight hours. Again, the storms die away up to the north of us. Then we get into the afternoon. Tomorrow, we'll see a mix of sun and clouds and just a couple of stray showers. We're talking about a 10-20% chance of rain at best. And then as we get into Sunday, we're even going to completely take that out of the forecast. So for right now, 9 o'clock hour, it's 70 degrees. Dew points are in the upper 60s to low 70s. That's where they've been for the past couple of days. That is pretty high up the scale. So when it gets this high, we're talking about a really unstable atmosphere. The more moisture that's in the air, the more unstable it is. So your forecast for tonight, dropping only a couple of degrees into the mid-60s. After the rain goes away, we'll see mostly cloudy skies, then a mix of sun and clouds as we go through the day Saturday. And it's going to be warm once again. After we start in the mid-60s, we're going to see those numbers climb into the lower to mid-80s. Now today, we made it up to 86 degrees. That was only 1 degree away from tying a record high for today's date, which was originally set back in 1922. So pretty old record, almost tied for today. So warm, muggy air south of this front. And notice the fronts kind of retreat to the north. Warm and muggy air still going to be in place as we go through the weekend, but there's just nothing coming through to set off another organized area of rain showers. So here's a look at the forecast of the weekend, and notice temperatures really don't change all that much. 60s in the morning, 80s in the afternoon, but we are going to take out the rain starting Sunday. We're going to put it back in the forecast, though, on Wednesday when our next cold front does move through. After that comes through, we're going to cool down to about where we should be at this time of the year. A lot of sunshine heading into next weekend with lows in the 40s and highs in the upper 60s to low 70s. Melanie, over to you.
Thank you, Ken. Coming up, one woman uses her pregnancy to scam multiple families out of thousands of dollars and their happily ever afters. Hear from one of those families after the break. 4 couples were all waiting for a little bundle of joy to join their family. It sounds like the start of a happy story, but it's not.
And as Jim Dunaway reports, an Alabama woman is now behind bars after promising her baby to multiple families.
I've never had to make a phone call like that.
Shireen Guernsey was arrested today. The Theodore woman is allegedly part of a nationwide adoption scandal.
Probably the worst phone call I made was to, sorry, is to tell them what was being done to them. You know, it was bad, and they cried.
Guernsey is accused of taking money from at least 4 adoptive families, including one here in Birmingham.
The birth mother and her boyfriend drove to Birmingham and met them here in this office and chose to place the baby with them since she had lost the couple in Europe had backed out.
But she apparently told that same story 4 times, taking at least $6,000 from each family. The money was to cover pregnancy-related expenses. Guernsey was paired with families through separate adoption agencies, but there is only one baby boy due in January.
She sat right here in this office in a meeting and looked them in the face and told them they were going to adopt the baby.
Even telling the parents to start picking out a name. The couple in Pennsylvania, who we'll just call Beth and Rocky, even prepared their nursery, a nursery that will now sit empty.
I think you are truly the one who is just so vulnerable. I mean, everything about you financially, emotionally. I just don't feel like there's anything in place to protect adoptive parents.
Well, those would-be parents are out thousands of dollars. Charges for fraud by deception are pending for Shireen Guernsey. Why would someone steal from a monastery? That is the question New York investigators are now asking. We'll tell you what a mother and daughter are accused of taking when we come back. Well, police in upstate New York have arrested and charged a woman accused of stealing from nuns.
The Sisters of Newscast Cheesecakes are the pride of their community, but as Lauren Linder reports, a mother and daughter violated their sacred monastery by robbing from them.
The nuns of Newscast are known for their cheesecakes around the country, but in the Cambridge area, they're also known for their generosity.
They try to believe in their fellow man, and they want people to do the right thing.
At their monastery, they have a gift shop that's unsupervised, but they expect people to fill out this sign-in sheet and leave a payment in the drop box when they take out their treats. Charlie Linka has done this many a times and appreciates this honor system.
I just wish more of the world would follow that.
But people have broken their trust in the past. The nuns set up these surveillance cameras after repeated thefts. Just last month, they captured these images of 2 women taking multiple cheesecakes and pastries without leaving any money behind. State police out of Greenwich say they stole more than $250 worth of the nuns' prized desserts. News that concerned many, like Jennifer Stratman and Charles Amos.
I just don't understand why anyone would do it. This is a neighborly community, and why would anyone steal from nuns, let alone anyone? I don't think it's right.
It's kind of disrespectful, but you never know what the circumstances are.
Police tell me 45-year-old Angelique Smith and her daughter turned themselves in Thursday afternoon and only charged Smith with 2 counts of petty larceny.
They're suffering the embarrassment, and that might be enough for them to understand and kind of make things right.
No matter their motives, the community hopes they walk away knowing they did something wrong.
Hopefully the people can learn from it.
The nuns of Newscast didn't have any comment on the incident.
Now let's go to Ken for a check of the weather.
All right, it's going to be a warm weekend. Temperatures in the 60s in the morning, 80s in the afternoon. We're going to take down our chance of rain tomorrow, and by Sunday, just partly sunny. We do get an extra hour this weekend. As time changes, we revert back to standard time early Sunday morning. We'll check out your 8-day forecast. That's coming up next. All right, over the next couple of days, we will continue to see very warm weather as we go through the weekend and into early next week. I think that's going to last through about Tuesday. That's when our next front moves through. We will see about a 30% chance of showers and temperatures cooling down about 10 to 15 degrees as we head into next weekend. Next weekend feels a little bit more like fall.
Right. Finally here, huh?
Finally.
All right,
thank you, Ken. And thank you for joining us for WJTV on the CW.
Be sure to engage us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We'll see you on WJTV 10 at 10 o'clock on WJTV. Until then, everybody, make it a good night.